Oh no, there's chat over my face. What happened? That's not right. Let's see. Chat. Yeah. Put you guys right here. That's mo better. Okay. Anyway, hello, hi. We're here. And I am trying not to appear dead. Been running myself ragged past couple weeks. That book is kicking my butt, man. It's bad. Like, I'm just so slow. I sit there and stare and stare and stare. It didn't help that it's like super, like I have a towel here because hands keep sweating. It's so muggy, even in my house. I had to get a dehumidifier a couple weeks ago. Oh, you can't. It's back there a little bit. And it's just filling up. It's so humid out here lately. It's bad. Feels like a jungle. But anyway, Smug, I wanted to know what you did. You said you had some client work that you were trying to get done. Are you an artiste? What do you do? What do you do? Also, Twice Dead. Angry, stressed, and frustrated. I want to kick his head in. See, I have the same emotions going on right now, but I don't have anybody to blame but myself. So, if anybody's head's gonna get kicked in, it's my own. Let's see, Sage. The music is Street Fighter. I couldn't tell you which one, but it's a collection of sorts. Just like Texas. Yeah, well, so I was looking at a heat map yesterday. I was showing it to a buddy of mine. And like, where the little pin was on the map, I was in the dead center of, like, you know, you have, what is it, yellow, then orange, and then red, where it's the hottest. I was the dead center of the red spot. It's just like, but Texas didn't have anything going on it, so I was like, what's going on over there? I don't know if the map was messed up or what, but here is cold, saw a homeless man dead from hypothermia like 3 days ago. Well, dang, that's intense. It is not cold here. Alright, so I also discovered recently, might have just been yesterday I tried it out, the Zen browser. I really like it. Not using it at the moment, but, or actually no, that might be what the music's coming through. It is, okay. It's super nice, it's super cool. If you want to try a new browser on your desktop, hashtag not sponsored. Feels like a spa every day. It's bad. Like, no rain, but the ground is just constantly soaked. The Sun King's Wrath. It sure did. It's rough. It's rough. Anyway, I have my last, not my last piece of art. I will get more, but I ordered 3, a little bundle of 3. I had a cat down there. From our friend Mr. Bova. So we got a hedgehog using a whisper stone. He's kind of a little guy. But there he is. Ah, he's doing things, either building a wall or moving rocks. I don't know what he's doing. But that's kind of what we were trying out. You can see like the whisper stones, not cracked, but like just has little splits in it where you can see energy, power. And so that's the actual picture. Then we were just, he decided to tinker around, just slap some blue on there to see what it looked like. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of the idea of what I'm thinking. So if we had actually done color on this, like the blue glow would be all over his muzzle and everything. So, but that's the idea. Those are good whisper stones. Now the corrupted one will be the same thing, but just red. And I'm wondering if they should be like jagged cracks. I think I like the idea of that. Looks like bread. Ah, man, it ain't bread. It's a whisper stone. It's a nice round one. And then yeah, there's Jack Redmere and our vulture. So, not the vulture of the Twice Dead Swamp, just a vulture. Smoke yourself in an early glory. It's been rough, man. It has been rough. Too wide for his arms probably shows off the hedgehog feature. That's right. That's right. I think he did really good. Like Jack over here, the mouse, he's a little more human. He was rounder if you remember, but then we kind of flattened him up because he's got the tight leathers kind of compressing him and holding him together there. So yeah, it looks real good. Are you gonna add the tiny cameo squirrel in Moss and Stone? I mean, there's probably be squirrels in it. Will they be cameos at that point? Oh, but we could have a little squirrel hiding somewhere. Or maybe he'll be the little, you know how Scotty and Easy D6 has the little floating Scotty head for the little GM tips and stuff, or additional notes. Maybe that'll be the squirrel. Also, unrelated to Moss and Stone, you remember how a while back we were trying to figure out what to do with the, what do we call that? Lost it. Oh my god. Oh, the creative challenges channel in Discord. So I thought about sneaking them into the questions of the day, and so far, see, today was the first one that came through, and we've been getting some winners. Look at these people participating. Look, I told them to draw a slime. And bonus points for sticky notes. Let's see, where's another sticky note one too? Yeah, look at Froggy Slime from the Frogman. Hey, that's the same picture. Copy image. There we go. Look at these slimes. It's perfect. Getting some fun entries there. I approve. I approve. Anyway, put that back on the voice chat. It's going to be Scrat as the talking head, putting Sean Bova style. That's right. You heard frogs. I think that is what it is, Wisp. Also, welcome back, Smug. Alright. So I think what we're going to do, if I can stay awake, like I said, I've been running myself ragged. I've been trying to get the book done. But just, I have conceded that I'm not going to hit the deadline on that one. And that's okay. She said that's fine. That was just what we're going to shoot for, and then we'll figure out from there how fast or slow I write. But I've also been racking my brain on nuts, because Demon Jim's going to run it soon. So I was like, alright, I got to get these fixes done before he runs it, preferably. And I've made some small tweaks, and I really like what's there, but I'm still stuck on that last modifier. It's just going in circles, man, wearing myself out. So. And then this, and then this. And I had the bright idea the other day. I was like, ooh, can I get Sean Bova, DM Scotty, and Runehammer all in a playtest together? Like, and just crap my pants. I wonder if I could do that. Answer your question, you're an artiste. I'm 3 pages from finishing. There's a living, breathing artiste amongst us. Wow. Hoping to be done this year. Man, that's kind of what I said too, and the year's running out. Picked up Bashkim, excited to tear into it. Wow, I was reading the legal section dedicated this time. Yeah, I think the legal page is everybody's favorite part, which is like, okay, you know, it's not like I spent a long time writing the rest of the book and 10 minutes on the legal page, but that's fine. It is pretty good though. All you gotta do is ask. Yeah, I know. I actually got drafted into a group chat yesterday, and Runehammer was in there. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's a sign from the heavens. I need to ask. Stop reading that. You might as well. It's just all downhill from there. Well, no, I take that back. Read the legal page and the dedication, and then it's all downhill after that. that music all right for you? That's a bobbling the goblin at the bar moment. Bobbling the goblin. Alright, so I think I got to tweaking this so much I actually have 2 documents, but one's like shows you what's getting changed and everything. It's just version control, so it ain't too bad. This stuff, like the locations, that's something I still need to do, but it's super not critical. Now, I can't remember if we talked about this or not, and it doesn't matter because I'm going to talk about it anyway. We were talking about the different stages of Hollow Tongue, you know, and one of those was, well, yeah, with this, so they start getting little stone scales and stuff. Fur starts falling out, like that's the first sign. You know, and some personality shifting, kind of losing their sense of self. And then when they hit the point of no return, that's when their eyes glaze over, and you know they go all white. Just that is a pro. It's just word. That's all it is. So I decided, well, shoot, let's call that stage Hollow Eyes, and then Hollow Tongues is the big bad mamma jamma. That's when their heart turns into the corrupted Whisper Stone. So, and on that note, I don't know if we got into this or if this was behind the scenes. So I was doing some world building, some lore work, and the idea is that there's the green voice, and she's, I think we talked about this, basic kind of like the life stream from Final Fantasy VII, and whatever religion it was that was like that. I forget what that was based off of or inspired by. So that's the green voice, and then the stones were always there, but like the stones were lonely, and then the green voice came along and brought life into the world. So they were working together, so that's why it's moss and stone. And then when people started using the stones incorrectly, they were basically separating the green voice or the moss from the stone, which made the stones very angry. That's when they started lashing out and trying to take back. And that's what causes a corrupted Whisper Stone, because the Whisper Stones don't know anything about life. They're just there, the power of the cosmos. So essentially, a corrupted Whisper Stone is the separation of moss and stone. So that's that. Lore dump. Recently learned that US people can get payment from blood donations. I calculated how much I can make out of that, and now I feel greedy. How much O positive y'all need? I feel like we have a lot, but I could be wrong. He said the title. He did. Moss and Stone. That's the thing. Roll credits. Hey, you know, that's how the little short story thing I wrote at the end when a certain somebody dies, he says something along the lines of "Lay me among the moss and stone," because that's a place of peace. So, all right. So this is pretty much the same. That hasn't changed. Spirit bomb. The separation of divine insight from arcane brightness. Yeah. So this is just kind of a wording change. Yeah. So it was like venom saves and venom things. I just named everything poison. I acknowledge that, like, snakes that bite you or whatever and have venom, that is a venomous creature, and something that's poisonous is something you ingest, but once the venom is in you, you are poisoned. So you don't say I got venomed. So just everything's a poison. Just wording change. That's all that was. Whisper Stones, we're gonna go through some of those. Actually, we're gonna go through all of them today and make sure that the regular Whisper Stones are now lore friendly, since we've added in corrupted Whisper Stones and whatnot and tweaked the lore a little bit. So I want to make sure they're not doing something they're not supposed to. I know that's going to change. This was all the renaming of the Corrupted Whisper Stones. I really like how those came out. Sandwiches, that was just a balance tweak there. And funnily enough, the species that you can play as, all their little perks they get, I don't think they've changed at all. If it's minus the stoat, he got a little tweak. Everything else has been pretty much the same. They've been fine since the beginning. Let's see, that's just some wording. I did add this to... Okay, yeah, so the shield guy. I had to do the math on this one. That armor, 3+ armor was just way too much. And that's when he has a shield. So I made it, it's 5+, which people are going to be like, well, that's the same as everybody else's. But so long as he has his shield, it rolls with a boon. So that makes it slightly better. That's like halfway between 3 and 4. It's slightly better than 4+. But that becomes huge. That becomes better than just a single roll that's real low, in case something gives you a bane to your defense, like something comes along and poisons you or something. I don't know. So now you just lose that one die. Moss and Stone ASMR. I don't know if that's what I'd call it, Bill to be, but sure. We are Venom. Magic traditions are super fun. So anyway, I did make that change to the shield guy. I think that'll balance him out a little bit, or make him not so dang sturdy. But you can still lose your shield. And I think I added this. I don't think this was part of Core Easy D6. I gave you the option for that thing that lets you sacrifice your shield. You can absorb an entire cleave attack and save your party now too. So that'll be neat. The Scholar. That's right. I tweaked one here. So he normally had, when a predator rolls performs, you may re-roll all dice that land on a 1, whether or not you're the player with the highest predator rating. You can keep doing that till no dice land on a 1. So what I did was, since you can't use karma on your predator roll, we established that he has the thing now, Tactician. You can use karma on the predator roll, but he has to be the one that rolls it. Like, you have to use the Scholar's predator rating, which is pretty low. So, but it could come in handy. So I did that. I got rid of the using karma against the GM. That was just too complicated with hollow tongues and whatnot. Never played Easy D6, but I have the book and it looks fun. Do you think it would hold up well with card-based item crafting system hack? Honestly, I was even thinking about it while we were playing. It would be a very easy add-in, because in Easy D6, if you've seen the magic part, you pick a school of magic, or I think they call it a circle of sorcery, but like an elementalist is one. So you decide, oh, I have fire, ice, lightning, whatever. That's your element. But when you go to cast a spell, there's this little system where you roll to see how effective you are, or if it backfires or anything. But you're making up what the spell does. The circle of sorcery just kind of gives you a point to jump off of, instead of, coming up with anything. You're like, no, in this scope, but you do whatever you want. Very much like your crafting. You use your cards, you have to be in that scope of something. So it would slide right in there. You could just replace sorcerer with crafting in your poker deck. So it would be super. And I trying to think, because how does magic work in Easy D6? You can roll 1 to 3d6. And if you roll only 1s, I think that's when problems start happening. Like it backfires or the whole thing cancels. So you could probably just take that. Use it as is and just say, no, you're using an item that I crafted instead of a spell. So minimal tweaking, if any. But yeah. it'd be super easy. We're gonna have a Moss and Stone, what is it? Easy D6, Moss and Stone and Warden of the Wetlands crossover. I kill frogs in mine though. Power level dice, railroads rolls for. That's right. That's right. So the enemy rolls a X number of D6, and then you have to beat that. But right, Sage, if you the magic caster roll some ones, it fails or backfires or something. Scrat crossover, yeah. Anyway, what else did I do here? The Corrupted. Yeah, he got some big changes, but I feel like we talked about them before I went dark for a couple weeks. Don't kill the frogs. So, anyway, so the Corrupt, we'll just start from the beginning, I guess. The Corrupted now, he was the one that starts with the Corrupted Whisperstone, and originally, when he died, he became a Hollow Tongue and all this other stuff, and he had this whole new stat block he got, and it was cool, and it was fun, and it was interesting, but, like, it was a little clunky. So now what I did is, he is in this weird halfway state between hollow eyes and a normal person. Because he's been messing with that Corrupted Whisperstone so long. So, he has 5... Well, let me back up. So, when you use a Corrupted Whisperstone normally, and it backfires, you permanently lose a strike. So, you gotta remember that. So, he has 5 strikes. He has a lot. His armor is 6+, it's super bad. His miraculous save is 6+, super bad. His predator rating is 5d6, which is very high. He starts with a Corrupted Whisperstone. You can use hero dice to reroll your ones on Corrupted Whisperstone casting, which is huge, because normally you can't do anything about that. Being so close... Yeah, so being so close to the Whisperstone has changed you. Consumable items and all methods of healing no longer have any effect on you. You are able to heal yourself naturally at the beginning of each day by rolling 2d6, keeping the lowest, and healing for that amount. Dancing with the Devil, you can use your Corrupted Whisperstone for your armor and miraculous saves, and it functions like a normal casting. So you can overcome your terrible saves with your Corrupted Whisperstone depending on what you come up with. One with stone, damage inflicted from Corrupted Whisperstone casting is no longer permanent. And will function as normal damage taken. So that's a huge one. You can take the damage and keep on going. And I know in the next document I also added, you're still getting permanently disfigured and taking on new flaws. Let's see. A deal kept. When you reach 0 strikes, you become Hollow Eyes and are no longer in control. But you don't become something else that you play as. It's like, nope, that's it. So you just kind of start off at that strong state. And this was just for my own amusement, but his first skill / perk is a deal made, and his last one is a deal kept. Because, soldiers sold to the devil and all that. So let's see. That was that. The Harvester. Wisp played as the Harvester, and we came up with some new things. I think I have more on the next document that's a little cleaner, so I will get back to that. This is all the same. Inclinations, predator abilities. I'm getting rid of Killer Instinct. Yes, very poetic. Good, love a good corruption mechanic, a little gambit. Yep, those are fun. I like when the player is tempted to do something they know is not good. If you roll a 1, it fails, but can do a spell burn. That's right. That's how it works. So, Mr. Bog, Frogman, if if you roll a 1 in normal easy d6, you can opt to burn a strike to make it work. But instead of that, I wonder if you could opt to burn additional cards. That way you're not digging into your health so fast. Since you'd have that whole new resource pool to pull from. But anyway, I got rid of Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct was the one that lets you crit confirm super low values. But after so many crits in a row, you would just kind of tuck her out and not be able to do anything. Opt to flip a joker, pretty much, if you want to. That'd be good. Your jokers, and your luck points or whatever you call them. That is a good call. It's almost like you made the system or something. Anyway, I felt like Killer Instinct was... It wasn't that it was doing too much damage, because the getting tuckered out part balanced it out, but it just wasn't that fun. It was kind of a pain, like, oh wait, yeah, I can't do anything this round, but next round, I just got rid of it. And I had one that I was hanging on to, so I replaced it with Rally, which is you gain a boon to the next predator roll and an additional boon for each ally adjacent to you when the round ends. So that can be significant if you're like the shield guy and you got everybody around you you're protecting. Alright, and then aspects are the same. Flaws was just some rewording. Okay, so that's that. Now let me pop this other one open. That's what I'm trying to do a little more cleanly. So let me go back down to Harvester. That's what I'm actually using the proper track changes thing. So Harvester, their stats are the same. Reworded the poison kit stuff, obviously. So what they can do now, normally they could just harvest the body and get a boon to their... They normally had this. After an encounter, you harvest the remains of your enemy, gain 2 boons to defense or offense, depending on the part you harvest. Excuse me. Harvested items will break if any die rolls a 1. So the idea was you had this super good boon, but like it was gonna break eventually. So it's like a temporary buff, and they only work for you. Now you have options when you go to harvest. So option 1 is to make that offensive or defensive boon. The other option is blood for blood. Instead of harvesting for equipment, you can consume your harvest to deal 1 strike for yourself, or I'm sorry, to heal 1 strike for yourself or a party member. So now the harvester technically is somewhat of a healer, a very slow healer, but they now fit the class better. And the third option is you don't need that anymore. After defeating an enemy with poison capabilities, like a rattlesnake or something, you can opt to consume your harvest to refill your poison kit. Roll 2d6, keep the lowest, and that's how much you get back. And this one I think is also new. Poison removal. When not in combat and after the affected player has already made their poison save and failed, you may perform your own poison save on them as well. Whether you pass or fail, the player's poison will be removed and you gain +1 to your kit. But if you fail, the affected player will also lose 1 strike. And you can also do that to yourself. So the idea is you're bleeding them out, basically. Or if they ingest something poisonous, you're making them puke their guts out. So, questionable ethics is the same. And on that note, I think there was some changes to the poison save itself. Let's see. Using character mechanics to introduce the story and plot. Give gameplay. That's right. That's right. Hey, there's what is it, Peter? Patron saint elsewhere of wounds. We decided you were today. You did read questionable ethics, Builder B. All right. So now the poison save. This is, I have got it defined now. So. Whether it's rattlesnake biting you, you're eating a questionable mushroom, whatever, you need to make a poison save. Your poison save is just your miraculous save, but you can't use karma or hero dice. And then If you fail that, you are now poisoned, and you will incur a bane on all actions except your armor and miraculous saves, because that would just be too harsh. Then you get 1 mark of poison. And that part's the same. Each day you get to make 1 more attempt to remove it, and then... But what I did do, on the 3rd day, after you receive your 3rd mark, you are no longer able to be cured. Like, you're too far gone at that point. But you have the rest of the day, and you no longer have your bane. So, do whatever you can that day to make it count, because you're on death row. Why can't I? Bam! Twitch got none but bots. Alright. Do I curse Peter, patron saint of wounds, when I stub my toe, or thank him for being able to feel? Spiders are scary, yep, so. But I did put some cushion in there, twice did. Once player is poisoned, they will not need to make any additional poison saves if poisoned by a new source or another hit from the same enemy. So that keeps it. I thought about letting it stack if like something else hits you or something, but like nah, because once you hit three notches, you're dead. Wounds are a blessing. So it's just some wording change there. All right, so let's look at the Whisper Stones. Now that we have the lore, we will make sure these are goodly stones. So, and I guess we're still just calling them Whisper Stone of X, whatever. So Whisper Stone of Light. When activated, the Whisper Stone glows brightly. Stone will stay with you, stay glowing until you tell it to stop. So that's probably fine, because we do have a corrupted Whisper Stone that controls light, so we know they can do that. This is a video that came up after I started trying to codify licking frogs. The algorithm. Praise be these scraped knees. Let's see, if only I could be so grossly incandescent, is it? If only I could be so bruised and battered. Alright, so Whisper Stone of Light's fine. Whisper Stone of Whispers. The stone speaks to you directly with whispers in your mind. You cannot understand the words, but you can feel the emotions GM must reveal, so that's fine. Secrets of the Cosmos. But yeah, I did add the clarification, like you don't actually know the words. Is darkness and vision an important part of gameplay? Is this Whisper Stone different enough from a torch? So... not really. I haven't used darkness much, but like I could see. So Easy D6 doesn't have darkness mechanics, if that's what you're asking. But you can say, yeah, this is too dark to see, because like I think, hang on, don't let me lie to you. I'm pretty sure one of like the 3 races you can play as in Core ZD6. One of them actually lets you see it in the dark. Excuse me. Choose your species. Elf. See twice as far in dim light. Oh, and the dwarf can do it too. And the goblin. So it is a thing, but it's very loose. I haven't used it much, but it would be interesting if you had this and you were just like in an underground tunnel, completely dark or something. I try to put myself in the mindset of a player who rolls around like it's one of these. Would I be excited to get this? No, that's why it's 1. It's a very basic stone, and we might replace it with something more exciting. As a matter of fact, since the corrupted Whisper Stone can do so much more, like make shadows and make it dark if you want, or make it light. I might make this where it can either light up a room or remove all the light to give you advantage. Let's do that. Consider changing this to either, well, this to the option to favorite. Just create a black hole for light here. Could also be highly covetous. What woodland dweller wouldn't kill for a shiny rock? Yeah, so that's like the small things you can do with the corrupted whisper stone of light. So, and that's why we're going through these now that we've got the corrupted whisper stones defined. What those stones can do themselves aren't bad. It's how the player uses them and the fact that the stone is becoming corrupted. And corrupting whoever touches it. But like controlling the light itself is not bad. So we can have like smaller scale versions of those in some of these whisper stones, and you know, more defined, because the corrupted ones are like, they're like easy d6 spell casting, do what you want. And then these are like, no pun intended, a little more written in stone, but yeah, still good. So we'll put a note there. That one, number 2's fine. Major wind. Create a huge gust of wind beneath your feet, strong enough to send you launching upwards. So, we do have the corrupted whisper stone that controls storms and whatnot, so that makes sense. Written in stone. Well, we've been saying when we're not sure about something, but pretty close, it's written in moss. So, smoking gets stoned. Alright, so that one's okay. This one, you can animate in an FG or scarecrow-like creation. It will last 24 hours and is under your telepathic control. It has no speech. This one I don't think is going to work. Super cool, super fun, but lore-wise, stones don't have that kind of control. To like have life, control life in something. So that one might need changed. Now we could like, hey, you make a little stone golem or something. Kind of like the, oh hey Peter, you weren't here for this. Let's see. This hedgehog. So basically what this guy's doing, we could have the Whisper Stone do that, like you just control stones and form a little mini golem. So, hedgehog, here. That's him. So let's do that. Change this to be a small stone golem instead. So that'll be the same otherwise. Be a battery for the golem. Alright. Chosen enemy, Whisper Stone of Terror. A chosen enemy automatically fails all their predator rolls for the entirety of combat. I think that's fine, because like the stone could be getting in their head, making them go crazy. That's fine. Chaos emeralds. That's gotta be one of my favorite Sonic memes, is when Shadow the Hedgehog. And like, this was, somebody animated this. Somebody sat down and did all the work and animated this. And I don't know which Sonic game it is. If a Lego fan were in here, he's the big Sonic nut. He could tell you exactly which one. But it's Shadow the Hedgehog, and he's looking at the camera, and he's got like an M16 or a Car 15, whatever, and holds it like this and goes, just, it's like, what are you cocking? It's so dumb. like I said, there was not too long ago. I say that, it was probably a few years ago. Somebody did, I don't remember what game. I think it was from Ubisoft or Ubisoft, however you say that. So whatever games they have. The guy had another M16 style of rifle, and you were looking at him at kind of a weird angle, like he was down at you, so you were kind of looking up at the gun, and you got to see under the gun. And these people drew, painted, got their references, digital arted, or whatever you want to call it, this entire image, and drew the wind-up wheel on the bottom of the magazine that's on airsoft guns. It's just like, how do you not know what you're drawing like that? It was so funny. So if you don't know, airsoft guns, the magazines, they have a wheel under them because, you know, airsoft guns shoot BBs like just real small. So the magazine isn't, you know, pushing bullets up. It's just a bucket, essentially, of little BBs. And there's a spring in there that pushes them up. And you just kind of, you're constantly doing this with your finger, winding that wheel and keeping the tension on that spring to keep BBs coming up. So that's why I'm a little calloused on that finger, because I've been constantly winding those things. I used to play a lot of airsoft back in the day. I miss it. It was fun. It's rough. It was. It was so funny. I don't know if it was actually real, but I choose to believe. Because I saw the image, but you know, somebody could have photoshopped it or whatever. Of hesitation or of doubt is a phrasing that seems more true to the flavor. They're not afraid. Terror, but they're not being the top predator. Ooh. I like that. The Whisper Stone of Doubt. Question mark. Why'd you stop? So tangent time. When I discovered airsoft rifles and whatnot, the airsoft product, I saw, oh, that's super cool. And like everything where I live, it doesn't exist. Nobody was doing it. It's like, these are all in other states. It's huge. But here in the South, in dirty South, in the land of Memphis, people aren't doing it. They're just shooting each other with real guns. So it's like, all right. So for a while, it was like me and two friends that were doing it. I was like, man, we got to get more people because this is super fun. So I got online, and this was the first community that I ever built. I got on some forums, kind of found a local place, or a forum for the local area, and I was like, hey, it's like, I see activity on the site. This might have been, well, probably not before Reddit, but before Reddit got big. So I was like, why don't we meet up? Let's schedule a game. And well, people are like, well, where are we gonna play? And I forgot whose backyard I used first, because I knew a few people that had some woods in their backyard. But that's how we started. And then we started getting more and more people. We're like, all right, we got to take this to a bigger piece of land. And then by the time we got more people, other people started getting involved, and they had access to other land. And sometimes we went to a paintball field. They didn't like us, though. There was some stupid rivalry between paintball and airsoft. I was like, guys, I play both. It's no big deal. Two different types of sport. So we were bouncing around whatever property we could get to. But I was, because I stepped up to the plate, I was always the one in charge of scheduling games, getting people together, making sure we had land and a place to go and all this stuff. And then I started doing raffles to get more interest and everything. But I was doing it all for free. I didn't charge people because I wanted people to come play. I was like, this is just fun. So it was a big load on me. And the first gal I was married to really didn't like it when I had fun. she was a very jealous type. So if I spent time on other things, she didn't like it, and that was taking up a lot of time. So there was that pain point, but I was like, well, I like doing it anyway, and it's not that big a deal. Plus, it was great exercise. And she would come most of the games. She would come to them and play, too. So she enjoyed it. We're all anti-fun here. That's right, that's right. Also, what's up? Swords and Stones. So I did it for a few years and was running it, and it was... Because there's a military base super close to where I live, and they love airsoft. So it was super fun when those guys came out, because they had all the gear and everything, and you learn a few tactics from them. Oh, it was super fun. It was super fun when they came out. And then I think what eventually pushed me away is I lost access to a piece of land that we had been using. There was just some drama involved, and a church person got greedy and decided to be a pain in the butt. You know how that goes. But at that point, I was just kind of tired of dealing with it, and I was like, I don't want to find a new place to do this. My wife's always fussing. It was just... Bleh. So right around that time, this one guy in the community started being a real pain in my ass, and it's just like, I can do this better, I can do that better, and blah 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 blah. So I was just like, you know what, fine, you can have it, it's all yours. I'm done. So I'm stepping away. And because he had some land somewhere, I forgot how he had it. It's like an uncle or something, and it was nice. Like, it was a nice place to play. I went once or twice, but he wanted to make a business out of it. Because he's like, Scrat, you can't do this. You got to make a business. I was like, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. So yeah, he had started charging everybody like $10-15 or whatever to come out, and everybody was just like, nah. Because, like, who are you? Like, who are you to charge and all this other stuff? Scrat's been doing it. Like, Scrat set the standard. He's been doing it for free. We just show up and have a good time. And, like, I started doing more community stuff too. Like, I was like, hey, like, we're all friends here. We're doing this. Like, let's have a big cookout post game. Everybody bring something. So that's what I was doing. So it was a fun get together. What was he charging for? Just for people to show up on the land. Like, just because he wanted to make money. That's it. It's just like pay to play kind of thing. He might have started charging, like, attempting to be a repairman too for airsoft equipment. But anyway, like, I enjoyed the community side of it. It was like, this is fun, man. We're all just getting together, and like, I'm not incurring any expenses. It's just my time, but I want to play it, so I'm going to put in the time. So anyway, when he decided to take over, yeah, airsoft, I'm sorry. So he did that and just lost 95% of the community right off the bat. And then I stayed away for a couple months, and then I decided to poke the forum a little bit. Say, hey guys, what you doing? They're like, yeah, we're still going out here every so often, but Dodo charges. It's okay. And I was like, well, I might come out for a game. And this is where I'm gonna stroke my ego for a little bit. So I was like, I'll come out for this date. And they're like, oh, cool. So that made a buzz. Like, Scrat's coming back. So the biggest day he had at his field was the day I came. That brought everybody back. Just for that day, though. And this is the guy that kept telling me he could do everything better. So that was nice to rub it in his face a little bit. But and then he opened up, like, within walking distance of my house, an airsoft store. And I didn't tell him, but I was like, you're never going to survive on that, because there's just no money in it. And that store is still there, but airsoft is like a very small portion of it. It's all like, he's got, you know, Magic the Gathering cards and a lot of tabletop stuff now. So he's had to dip into several other things, and airsoft just kept getting less and less and less and less and less and less. So I was like, yep, okay. Your store survived, but not because of airsoft. So he was a real piece of work. Just not a great guy. Or not socially adept, I guess we'll say. A little rough around the edges. I don't think he got beat up enough in school, is the problem. So anyway, that's Scrat's Airsoft story. That was the first community he ever built from nothing. And I have a humongous closet full of airsoft junk. Like, I need to find a home for it. Because what happened was people were like, when something would break, they just give it to me. They're like, I'm just going to get a new one. I know you like these types of guns, so here you go. So I swear I have like 10 G36s because those were my favorite. Couple things from Lost and Found that nobody ever picked up. I gotta have at least 50 to 60 mags for G36s because every time somebody's gun broke, they're like, here you go, here's 3 more. It's like, gosh. So, and you know, then I had bought a lot too, different types, trying them out and just accumulating an arsenal. So. And they look, the thing is, they look real too, right? So sometimes somebody will come over and see I have this room back there and they're like hanging on the wall. Like there's MP5s, G36s, M16s and everything. And they're like, you okay, bud? It's like they're all fake. Hey, got some more. You seem to have a talent for making computers. I'm good at starting them. Once they hit a certain size, I don't do so well. Real stonehead. I'm sure you don't moss him. There you go. Very funny. But I don't. I sure don't. I do want to like drop in a store at some point because where I get my haircut is like right next to him. So I was like, I should just walk over there and see what's going on. Oh, but it was a very fun, tight-knit community. And I'm telling you, there's nothing like gearing up in your camo and helmet and vest all weighted down in 100+ degree weather, man. He carries TJ. I don't know what all he has in there, honestly. I know he has a lot of card stuff. See you, Builder B. Get back to work. Excuse me. All right. Whisperstone of Moss clone. Makes a copy of you made out of moss and has your abilities with one. How's that? That's kind of the same thing as this. Well, it has all your abilities. Also, I just realized I spelled that wrong. Make a copy of you. Oh, that's awfully similar. Really similar to Whisperstone. We might need to change that. I mean, lore-wise, I think the boss thing is okay. Whisperstone of Scooting. Where the automobile, the stone grows large enough for you and 2 others to comfortably sit on and hovers just above the ground. I am super fine with that. Maybe he'd sell nuts. Well, nuts is free. That's how Scrat does things. He does everything for free. That's why he's broke. Got no money. And he has to put Glee to work. And then she's like, when are we going to go on vacation? And then I'm like, I have no money. We can't do it. Moss clone sounds very cool. Yeah, it does. It does. Whisperstone of Squelch. You activate the stone and throw it. Wherever it lands, all the ground in its near range becomes soft and wet. Swallowing those. Okay, so that's fine because we have Lament of the Lone. So this is that, but controlled. Like it does exactly this. So bloop. Scrat sent me a book for free. That's why he broke that. Did it ever show up? Or is it still in transit? Held you at gunpoint to do voiceover work? That's not true. Broke like glass. After I was like, oh no. Oh, no. It hasn't showed up. Are you serious? Let's see what the, what was it called? I didn't remember what the site was. It says in transit. But the problem is my tracking information is useless once it leaves the country, and it left the country June 15th, so. Your item departed a transfer airport in the United States on June 15th at 10:19 p.m. This item is currently in transit to the destination. Oh, maybe your mail system is as bad as ours out here. Alright. Whisper Stone of Rabies. The affected creature becomes violent and attacks whatever and whoever is closest to it and is now deathly afraid of water. So that one might get a little changed. Yeah, that one needs changed. That one doesn't fit the lore. But I do like it. It's pretty funny. Whisper Stone above. Oh, that's fine. Let's see. You and dozen are encased in water globe for up to one scene. Yeah, that one's right out of Easy D6. I'm fine with that. Tracking the scent of an individual of your choosing. Whether you could originally smell or not becomes highly visible to you. Lasts for 1 day. That's very specific. Very specific. If you're hunting a hollow tongue, or trying to avoid a hollow tongue, that would be very useful. But the scent, I know what we'll do for this. Instead of scent, do something along the lines of there we go. Whisper Stone of Green Storage. You may place an object of your choice into a patch of moss. That one's fine. It's weird, but it's fine. Because, see, the corrupted Whisper Stones don't get to do anything with moss, whereas regular Whisper Stones do, because these are the good Whisper Stones. They're still with the moss, so. That's one thing they have that corrupted doesn't. Whisper Stone of the Lucky. Okay, these purple ones are straight out of Easy D6. Gains a boon on every check in a scene. That's pretty good. Cannot sink in liquid. Also pretty good. Create 2 connected portals. Portals must be on a stone surface. That works. One particular type of creature will not harm you for 1 day. As long as you do not strike it. Do no strike it? How about do not strike it? Okay. That's fine. When activated, Stone of Sanctuary. When activated and placed on the ground, the Whisper Stone will raise moss-covered stones. Moss is important. And form a shelter just big enough for you and your party. See, some of these were made with the overworld map usage, traveling in mind. You see that? I like it, but I haven't got to do anything with it because that's for longer term play. But there is a significant, not a small portion of Moss and Stone is made for long-term play and traveling and exploring a big map. So almost like a hex crawl. So that's why you have the whole resource thing and all that. Your supplies and your safe zones. So So that's what that one's for. So if you got that during a one-shot, that would be useless. That would be very unfortunate and sad. Peter, I just realized there was something I wanted to ask you, and now I completely forgot what it was. But I was like, oh, I hope Peter shows up today. I have a question. And now I don't. Let's see. A creature that can understand you will truthfully answer 3 simple questions. That one doesn't work. Because the terror one, we can flavor it as doubt or confusion, like Peter was saying. This is controlling a person, so that one's not gonna work. Does not fit stone lore. Need a new stone for this. There we go. Actually, I should probably be making that a comment, not a note there. Does not fit stone lore. Need a new stone. This. Y'all can't see my comments. They're hidden. Alright, I should probably do that up here too. Excuse me, I'll take that. Alright, well, whatever. I'll get to those in a minute. Listening. Your hearing becomes super sensitive for a day, surpassing that of rabbits. Could a Whisper Stone give you that? Or is the stone picking up sound? Just hold the stone to your ear. I think I like that. Let's do this. Instead of your hearing, become better. You're better than rabbits. Whisper Stone of Haze. Spores and pollen spew uncontrollably from all surrounding plants and fungi, creating a thick haze that affect only your enemies for the remainder of the scene. All your text roll. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Reflection. Ranged attacks bounce off of you. That's fine. It just needs some more flavor. Flavor as stones protecting you. Functions the same. Whisper Stone, spoken thoughts. For a few minutes, you're able to hear the thoughts of a single creature in front of you. Okay, that one doesn't work. Maybe. Bye, Wisp. What if you, like, do the thing when you hold the stone against your ear again? Listen in on somebody's head? Let's see. Doesn't really fit. Something else entirely. Question mark. Moss walk. If you touch a patch of moss with any part of your body, you are able to become one with it and travel to wherever the moss is connected. Lasts for one scene. That's from Earnbound. Earnbound. I ain't heard from Dave, barely, in like 2 or 3 weeks. Probably 3. He must be a busy boy these days. He don't love me no more. Patch of moss with any part of your body, you'll be able to come with it and travel. I don't know about that one. Months for you? Yeah. Well, I know it got a little busy with Crit, which I totally messed up. I thought Crit was in a couple more weeks from now. I got the week and date right, wrong month. So, and I was like, oh, this is gonna work out perfect because Crit's gonna roll around right when my deadline for my book hits. You know, that's when I gotta have it in. So I'll be ready for a break. Of course, now we know I'm not gonna hit the deadline. That's not important. But that was the idea. It's like, oh man, I'm gonna go play all these games and unwind after the sprint of getting that book written. I'm sitting there typing away. The ping, Dave hits up his server with an everyone ping. Hey, I need 2 more players or something for my Crit game this morning. 2 didn't show up. And I was like, I'm sorry? I beg your pardon? What? So, I didn't get to participate in Crit at all. Unfortunately, I got the date wrong. I always forget when Crit is. Yeah. I wanted to play a couple games. I was like, I should, at least make an appearance here and there. And then I saw, like, Zachary from Peasantry, Peter from Tales from Elsewhere, like, a bunch of people I knew were running games. I was like, oh, well, shoot, I really need to get in here and, like, join some of their games and help them out and stuff. But I'm busy writing a book. So. But I'm also kind of not sad that I missed it that much, because, like, I really like the concept of Crit. But they need I don't know how they would do it, but because it's online and nobody has any personal responsibility anymore, so many people just don't show up because there's like no pressure, right? There's like, oh, they don't even know what I look like. I don't have to look anybody in the eye. I can just not show up if I don't feel like it. There's no investment to sign up. So what I wish Crit would do, and like I said, I don't know how they would do it, but I wish, since it's through that ttrpg scheduling thing, I wish there was a way you had to put $5 down to join a game, and then if you showed up, somebody running the game or however they're hosting it can go into the system and say, hey, this person showed up, and then the $5 goes back to them. So like if they want to play, they have to put money down, and if they show up, then they can have their money back. But like if they don't show up, then all that should go to the GM, because it's like you're wasting his time. Like he put all this work in here and you didn't show up, so he gets that money. I wish that's what they would do, and I feel like that would cut down drastically on people not showing up. Problem with that is who's trustworthy to maintain all. Well, that's what I'm saying. You'd have to have some kind of service that holds it and a way to confirm. Some kind of system to confirm I'm here. Now, since it's all through Discord, I don't know how you would do that, but always blackens the heart of man. Yep. But if you were joining through the site, it would be super easy. It would all be automatic. Nobody would have to handle it, because you could just, granted. Well, no. I was going to say they could just log in, show up, and say, I'm here, and then immediately leave. But it's like, no, they have to be in there a certain amount of time. So, like, if you're scheduled for a 2-hour game, then you have to be there an hour and a half, Not the 2 hours, because sometimes games end early. But I feel like it's doable, but it would take some work. So definitely don't have anybody handling the money, but let that all be automated. What do you call that? Like escrow accounts when it gets held and then released or whatever? Because that's what That's what YouTube calls it when you have a video and you're getting some ad revenue and somebody's like, no, actually this is mine. And then you're like, no, it isn't. Then YouTube's like, okay, well, we're going to hold it in escrow until we figure out whose this actually is. Start playing as a similar concept, whereas a seat filler has to provide a credit card. They want to join a game for free. That would be a way to do it. Sign up with your payment information. How would you make the... How could you confirm, though, somebody didn't show up? I don't know. What was something you didn't expect while developing Moss and Stone? Jacob leaving. That's the easy one. As far as the rest of it, I think the lore. I didn't expect it to get near as deep as it did. With the stones, like all the corrupted whisper stones and how tightly woven the moss and stone. I didn't expect somebody to make a rock and stone pun that would dictate this entire setting. You forgot. Oh, you remember the big bearded guy that was working on this with me in the very, very early stages? Guy who... I don't want to say is a professional GM for a living, because he still does a lot of other side work, but like it is a significant chunk of his income. Yeah, beard guy. Yep. Yep. So... It was supposed to be a quick little thing. Anyway, Whisperstone of Mosswalk. We're fine with that one. Whisperstone of Frozen Time. A creature object is frozen in time and space and cannot be interacted with. This effect lasts for a scene or about 10 minutes. That's fine, because we have one of the corrupted Whisperstones is a lot, or time, right? The Torment of Time. That's right. So that's fine. Binding an unbreakable tether of moss-covered vines. That's right. I added that because I was like, that makes it more lore-friendly. Links two beings together. They cannot move. That's fine. Growth. You can double in size. I don't know how long that lasts, but... can double the size of an item or a living creature. I don't think that actually makes sense for our stones. I'm not sure. Stone lore. I like that. Shrinking. You are a willing target. Shrink down to size of small dial. Should you take a strike? Well, that's kind of the same thing. It's just the other direction. So, if Stone of Growth doesn't work, then this doesn't either. Okay. Sacrificial Flame. Any moss in your sight can be set ablaze. Anyone standing. What's the note I have here? Enemies. Okay. I think that's fine. It's pretty good. Camo, moss covers your entire body. That is totally fine. Whisperstone of the Open. Any mechanical locking mechanism? Yep, that's fine. Because that's kind of like the Stone of the Unmaking. Just Whisperstone of Vision. For one scene, you're able to see through walls. Other objects. Is that? I guess this stone could do that. Do we want Whisper Stones to be able to modify your physical body? Because that's the thing. Stone doesn't control life. That's the green voice. That's why corrupted Whisper Stones become corrupted, because that is the Whisper Stone trying to control life because it was angry and it's trying to take back what was taken away from it. The green voice, which gave life to the world and everything. So when people did bad magic things, they separated that. Stone's angry, tried to take life back, and it's like, doesn't, despite it being this overwhelming cosmo power thing, like, it doesn't know how to handle life. So I think that's an important thing. So let me write that down. Doing so is how they become corrupted per the lore. This mechanical feature, try not to have this. Were made in a time of harmony. A duet between green and gray. I don't see why the Whisper Stones wouldn't fit. I don't know, man. Cause like the way I was thinking was that's the green voices realm, like that's what she does, and then the stones had the world. But I guess if they're working together, and that could be one of the advantages of the Whisper Stone versus a corrupted one. Like, one, you get moss stuff, but two, it's like you can safely modify your body, whereas the corrupted ones don't. Actually, you know what? Well, I didn't mean to make that pop up. I'm trying to copy the text you gave me, and I'm going to put it in a comment here. Let's go with what Twice Dead said. I can't type. Let's see. Whisper Stones being able to leave. There we go. All right. Good point, Wisp. Good point. Also, let's just put that one up there for funsies. Rock and Stone. Speaking of Rock and Stone, any of you guys playing that new one that's currently in early access? It's like a roguelite kind of thing. Yeah, it is just a roguelite. Your typical go through a zone, get an upgrade. Not Deep Rock Survivors. This one's actually being made by Ghost Ship Games, not published. So, I saw some gameplay of it, and I was like, it looks terrible, because you had no ammo, and I heard that was a huge complaint. It's like, when I'm playing something like a roguelite, or a horde shooter, or anything like that, I don't want to have to worry about ammo. That to me goes against the entire design concept of horde shooters or fast-paced roguelite things. Make reloading more interesting. So I don't like horde shooters specifically. I don't know who has the bright idea of, hey, let's throw 1,000 bad guys at the player, but make them have to carefully place each shot because ammo is so precious. It's like, no. Spray and pray. Corrupted Whisper Stones are violent on their execution. Are you proud of me? I knew what CWS stood for. Are violent on their execution, a scream that breaks and molds the world. Whisper Stones don't do that. There are notes in the song, but do not produce discords with the world. I like that. And I think you're right, Twice Dead. So they can, like, give you very strange abilities. And that might have been what was tempting, too, for the people. They were like, oh, man, the Whisper Stone can make me see through walls. What else can it do? And then they... corruption. Blah. So... I can't steal your text without making it pop up on the screen. Okay. All right. Whisper Stone of Moss Horde. 5 small moss creatures rise up from the ground. These creatures can be... That's fine. Protection. Small stone rise up from the ground, swarm around every party member, providing protection. Ooh, every party member. On a failed armor save, the stones will take the hit. That's fine. Healing. Every party member restores 1 strike. If anyone is currently suffering from poison, it is removed as well. That's a very good one. Amnesia the Bunker made good use of having to count your shots. You have a revolver, you gotta count with those. I like it when reloading's more interesting. I feel like that is something that does not get explored enough. I can't think of the game, but there's very few out there, and I know I've played them, that the reloading will be in stages. So if you like, so let's say mag out, that's one stage. So if you swap your weapon, instead of restarting the animation from the beginning, you'll start from that point. Mag in, that's another stage, and then the cocking it and priming it, like that's the last stage. So or also, golly, did anybody play Winback for Nintendo 64? That was, you're like some special forces dude or something. That was the first game I played where you reload and the whole clip is gone. So like if you just do 2 shots and you reload, he drops it and just puts in a fresh one. You're like, oh man, I just wasted all my bullets. And you could only carry a few clips at a time, so things like that make it more interesting. Rat King busted through my walls and I shoot at him. I got a click instead of a bang. I nearly puked from the fear. Yeah, man. Whisper Stone of the Root. Moss-covered roots rapidly grow from the ground and protrude. That is also fine. Alright. So we got some stones to fix. I guess I could keep going through here. I did add that corrupted Whisper Stones might require the anchoring from Corey's ED6, so not really a change, just a clarification. Like, hey, if you're holding a spell, use the feature that already exists. Sandwiches, just clarified. Oh yeah, wasn't that? Or no, we already looked at this. That's right. Poison resistance. Updated my wording. So I was trying also to make some sample enemies. Guts and black powder used in both guns in a zombie game. So hungry. I don't play Roblox anymore, but there I saw. I'm sure some people in the chat here know Skolagrim. He was playing something recently. It was a demo. He played a couple games recently, or was it? It might have been the same one I'm thinking of. It is. So it's like first-person Dark Souls-esque, but in the Napoleonic era. Matter of fact, I think you were working for Napoleon, but there's a lot of weird black magic stuff kind of going on. Looked right up your alley, Twice did. I can't remember what it was called though. Looked kind of fun. I'm not a big Dark Souls guy. For a lot of controversial reasons, I'm sure. But I feel like they were just kind of riding the coattails of Dark Souls. Like, it didn't look like it played. I mean, for starters, it was first person, so. But like your parry windows were more forgiving. I mean, the bad guys still hit hard, but it looked significantly more fun than Dark Souls. Did. Alright. So anyway, for bad guys, sample bad guys, I have little bandits, a rattlesnake, a bear, swamp toad, hollow eyes, and hollow tongue. I could add more later, so I guess we were working on stones. This Giles theme. Valor, that sounds about right. Let's see. Let me go. Yep, that's it. Yeah, it looked kind of fun. There was another one he was playing farther back. It was like, I had seen a trailer for it a long time ago. It was medieval, but like super gritty. And I think it had some undead walking around, and it looked, it was like, oh yeah, it looks super intense, super good, and like super immersive. But then it's like, this is a very scripted playthrough trailer kind of thing. So how good is it really? I don't remember what that one was called. Yeah. I want me a good Weird World War game. Video game. Like some steampunk Tesla stuff going on. And I need to play Expedition 33 before it gets spoiled for me. I've heard good things. I don't know if I'll actually enjoy playing it. Oh, we'll see. Man, my webcam is hot. Oh my gosh, what's going on? But I've heard good things about Expedition 33. Want to play. I have access to it. I have a shared family friend library thing, and she has it, so need to play that. I wish I could remember what that other medieval one was, though, because it looked neat. Whoop! That probably sounded great. All right. I saw you stare at my username mildly afraid. I wasn't scared. Zap! What are we zapping, Frogman? Oh, test zap. Not much. We're working on some moss in the stone. An easy D6 playset. Mouse Ritter. No. Well, no. I was gonna say it kind of was at the beginning when Bog was here, but because his game is Mouse Ritter and he is thinking about doing some easy D6 shenanigans. So there, you know, there was almost some Mouse Ritter crossover. I guess you could do it though. You know, you could take the flavor of the setting and have all your critters die super easily. We do have a mouse you can play as. So. What else do we want the light thing to do? How about... if you can do more with it, it would be for the scene. So maybe like a mini Corrupted Whisperstone. Should get into war games and fear that weird world. Man, then I have to like learn complicated things. Love TTRPGs, but still rather new. Channels like you're like, hey, oh, looky there. I'm amazing. Y'all heard it here first. Well, what have you played? And then we will judge you accordingly. We're just gonna silently hope Easy D6 is part of it. 5. Oh, banned. Gone. Oh, that's fine. I guess we all gotta start somewhere. It's where I started. Then the OG scandal happened. Yeah, buddy. I got it. I started briefly, but well, actually, no, I'm sorry. I had played for a 2 or 3 years before that happened. It was when the YouTube channel got started. That's about when the scandal happened. Then your bubble broke. I'm telling you that that little OGL nonsense was not good for business. Daggerheart. Oh. It's just as bad as 5e. I actually haven't played Daggerheart, but it does not look interesting to me. But we got some folks in the server that really like it. I think, is it After Ash that's a really big fan of it? Or, I feel like, I might be wrong. Maybe it's not him. I always thought it was him. It's somebody with the same role color as him. Oh man, I haven't played any of those. Shadow Dark has been on my list. Like when it first came out, I kind of poo-pooed on it because I am weird, and when something gets super big and popular, I'm like, I had no reason to poo-poo on it though. But I didn't say anything negative. I was just like, well, I'm not gonna play. I didn't have the interest to go out and do anything with it for the channel because everybody and their brother was doing it. So I was like, well, I'll let it die down a little bit and then I'll go play it. But I've heard good things. Kelsey seems like an awesome person, so I do want to try it out. Now that the commotion has calmed down. I've heard very good things about Tin Candles. I don't know anything about it. And I don't know what heart is. Scrat is really judgmental. I mostly joke. Mostly. And there are many other systems I just started looking into, like Mouse Rider and Easy D6. Well, there you go. Is that why you poo-pooed on the Dagger? No, actually, so somebody gave me the PDF of Daggerheart, because I certainly wasn't going to buy it. And I read through it, and it just, nothing about it appealed to me. As I was looking through the mechanics, I was like, oh, that's just this other game, but with extra steps. Like, that is what kept coming to mind as I was reading through it. This is all just something else with extra steps. And not that it really makes any difference, but the art to me was just incredibly boring. It was very corporate and safe. It was overproduced for me. Like that first page in the book is just 1,000 names of the people that worked on it. Like that's far too many. So, like which other games? What other games that I like, or I'm interested in, or don't like? What do I like, guys? I don't even know anymore. Daggerheart is interesting, but it doesn't deliver what it promised, at least. Yeah, and like, it was kind of weird too, because they made it, and then the people behind it that you thought were going to use it were like, now we're going back to D&D. And now I think they got rid of D&D for something else? I don't know. I don't keep up with all that drama. Oh, gosh. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. I'm trying to think. I feel like they were trying to do some Pupta stuff, Powered by the Apocalypse, but then, like, didn't commit. Yeah, Bog is a big Mouse Rider enjoyer, it turns out. I didn't know that till very recently. Scrat likes anything that can make him a barbarian. Oh. I like games that don't require me to look things up constantly. Daggerheart feels like corporate hiding in indie. Yeah, it's something. I think, and I was talking, I think it was with maybe Wes. I don't know, somebody. It's like, it's just so bland. It's like, it's just the most okayest looking thing I have ever seen. That's the problem. There's nothing about it stands out. Played it safe and already played 5.5e, especially because Brennan would do. Yeah, I like the community people that worked on Daggerheart though. Well, that's good. Made by committee. Yeah. I like. I tend to like the smaller games that are made by an individual. You know, not that overproduced thing. Or style, whatever. Like Easy D6, that's all, you know, it's one, well, I mean, he had a little help, but it's generally like one guy. So the vision remains through the whole thing, the style and the tone. And it doesn't mean automatically make it a small game. Like World Shapers by Blaze is a pretty large game and not super complicated, but like it's on the crunchier side, especially character creation, but it's all done by him. Really into the OSR, so I'm gonna appreciate community-driven games. I think that's because they wanted to make a system that can work for any setting. They have campaign frame, do they? That's right. Well, they had like 2 in there, right? In the book. Yeah, like Shadow Dark. It's just that one vision in there. Tricube Tales is a super fun one. Regarding Daggerheart's mechanics, I'm not saying they're bad or bland, but I'm very biased says a new other TD producer. A bunch of friends. I thought it was just 2 big ones they had in there. Yeah, well, you know, the community. That's also where I get weird when people start. Like, there's a ton of stuff for Shadow Dark. Like, I hear good things about it. Oh gosh, what's it called? Dark Space. I think that's what it's called. He took Shadow Dark and made it a sci-fi setting. That's when my brain fails to process. It's like, why? Why would you take something? And I don't know how much work it was. Like, it might have been a simple switch, but like, why would you take something that's built for this and then flip it upside down, turn it inside out, and make it something totally different? Just like, make your own system. Or find another system that does what you're trying to do. Like, that is... I love that everybody can make their own system and do all this stuff, but at the same time, it's like, okay, guys... Like, I see this in the professional world, you know, like with programming and developing new tools and stuff. It's like, people are so quick to develop something instead of using what already exists. Like, something is, I don't want to call Excel simple, because obviously Excel can do a ton of crazy stuff, but like, instead of using built-in formulas for Excel, people will go straight to the code and start programming something else and spend way more time on that. And it's like, dude, you could have done that in 5 seconds with a formula, but that's what people do. Very clear. Yeah, this is like it. I mean, I'm sitting here making a thing for Easy D6, but like, there does come a point. It's like, okay, just, I'm sure something already does what you want to do. And I can't speak for Dark Space too much because I haven't played it. I was supposed to play it with the guy that made it, but something fell through and we didn't get to get together and do it. Just make a campaign frame. Yep. No, you're fine. Everyone wants their remixes to be the next. There's that. Like, the market is very flooded. And I really hate to say, like, there's a lot of games that don't need to be out there that are out there. It's like, because that's very mean. And, you know, some of those people put a lot of work into that. Some people didn't put much work into it at all and just hoping to make a quick buck. But, like, when I say a lot are out there that didn't need to be made, it's like, okay, did you look at all to see if there was something that did what you were wanting to do? You know, instead of taking Shadow Dark and making Dark Space, like, was there something that was 90% closer and would have required significantly less tweaking? Or did you know, because I'm a cynic, you know, Mr. Negative, when I see somebody do that, I'm like, oh, my immediate thought is you just wanted to ride Shadow Dark's coattails, which is a very negative thing to say. But I don't go around saying that because I don't know what he was trying to do. I haven't played it. It might be great. You know, he might have just been a huge fan of Kelsey's work and was like, but I like sci-fi. So some people, when they make that stuff, they think they're doing those people a favor. They're like, oh, I really like what you did. I'm going to make this for it so other sci-fi people can still get exposed to your system. That's so good. You know, there's a lot of different angles. That's why I have to keep a lot of it to myself. Don't be making negative videos, even though they would get a lot more views. Troika hack ballooned out of control into its own system. You got to cross the Rubicon at some point. Admit this is another game. Yeah, and like Lost in Stone isn't there, because it very much is just using the Easy D6 mechanics, but setting-wise, there is enough now to make its own thing. Uh-oh, Tess is kind of guilty. Oh no. You trying to make, you got a system you're trying to make the next big thing? Will remake GURPS every few years and pat themselves on the back? Still haven't played that one. I played Daggerheart as a main because I like his narrative first. Don't have to look up rules. Yes, it built-in system card system, but customize it with for instant mouse ritter. Oh, Mouse Ritter's inventory. Mouse Ritter has such a cool inventory system. Throw stuff together. Yeah. That works. That works. And I mean, like, Mouse Ritter. Don't let me misquote here. I'll just pull it up. I think on the first page. Okay, not the first page, but pretty quickly in the acknowledgments he has, these are games or blogs I have drawn inspiration from or shamelessly stolen from to build Mouse Ritter. Excuse me. Into the Odd, Goblin Punch, Knave, Mothership, Moonhop, Last Grasp, Grimoire, Coins, and Scrolls. And then another list that just inspired the theme, setting, and tone. So, like, I love how tight-knit the indie scene is. I like pulling from each other, working off each other. But the unfortunate side is that does produce a lot of games. And then it's very easy to get drowned in that and not get noticed, and nobody knows your games, and then that in turn floods the YouTube space because everybody starts making YouTube channels to try and promote themselves, and Peter described it as very noisy. It's a very noisy space, and that's a good way of saying it because everybody's trying to be louder than the next guy. So where do you think I first heard about? Oh, Mouse Ritter? This guy. This hobby is a rabbit hole. It is. Man, and so many people have their stuff out there for free. This like pay what you want. That's what I was trying to do with Nuts. It's just, here's a game. It's like, because Nuts was something, I started making Nuts originally, and then I found Easy D6, and I was like, okay, well, Easy D6 does mostly what I'm looking for. So I just played that, put Nuts down for a long, long time. Then I was like, well, let me just see if I can make Nuts. And it was just supposed to be something for me and my friends. And then now we're like, okay, let's make something of it. But I haven't seen anything that does what it does. It had a very specific goal in mind. But that's another story. That's another game. I'm dying. Do you run longer campaigns, and do you like having so? All right, scrap tangent time. We'll work on Moss and Stone eventually. When I got into TTRPGs, I don't know how new to the channel you are, how many stories you've heard from me. Goofy lad. My introduction to TTRPGs was I had another community I was running, had nothing to do with TTRPGs. No, you're fine. I've been rambling all day, and this is usually how my Moss and Stone streams go. My dev streams, they turn into Pirate Software streams where I don't do anything. So, and then I have to work behind the scenes. I had this community, and it was a pretty large community, and then all of a sudden there was some interest. People was like, hey, we should get a D&D crew together. And I was like, I don't know anything about D&D, but I'll make you know the roles, the voice chats. I'll get y'all set up. I'll give you the tools. Since this is the community I am in charge of, I'll get you set up for success. So they had enough for like two groups, and then so for one group, the GM ended up flaking like a week before they were supposed to start their first session. And I was like, okay, well, this is my community. This person just flaked on you and they left the server and everything. So I feel responsible. So I will step up to the plate and campaign D&D, or I'll run a campaign for D&D. How hard can it be? So, but it was something like I had interest in. It's like, I had tried playing a little here and there, and it really wasn't getting. And I was like, I think GMing it would be more fun. So I stepped up, and somebody was like, hey, since you're super new, try buying an adventure module. That might make it easier for you. I was like, okay, sure. So I bought Dragon Heist. Yeah, that's what it's called. Dragon Heist I bought it on Roll20, so it came with all the tokens, the maps, and the handouts and everything. I thought that was going to make my life easier. So everybody made their characters, and, you know, they all had some backstories and everything. And it was 5 players, and I butchered the introductory quest to Dragon Heist because I could not consume all the information that was in Dragon Heist and keep up with it. It was just too many moving parts. And that might have been because I was juggling the rules too and was trying to digest all of that and just learn how to run a game. So I was like, I can't do that. And because of that, when I say I butchered the introductory quest, I left out some key details that would keep the story going. Like, they still were progressing through the dungeon and going on this quest and doing the things and having a good time. But I was like, oh crap. There was supposed to be this guy that gave him this item and do this thing, and we totally missed that. So, in Dragon Heist, you go on this little introductory quest, and you basically get your MacGuffin or whatever to start the rest of the adventure, but then you're given a manor that the players can turn into like a tavern and stuff. So we got to that point, and I gave them the tavern, and in the book, when you get that tavern/manor thing, there's this optional thing where different factions start sending you like recruitment letters or like, hey, we could use your help. So when I saw that in the book, I was like, I'm going to use that point, but I'm not using what the Dragon Heist module gives you. I'm going to have little personalized side quests they can all go on before progressing the main story. I knew I wanted to do that. So I realized I screwed up the main quest, the introductory thing, but they got their manor, they had a good time, they spotted a villain, and they're like, okay. And then I was like, well, I'm going to start giving them their little personalized quests till I figure out how to salvage this. So what I ended up doing was I threw out the entire Dragon Heist module and then gave them their personalized quests to go on, and then realized I had a way I could tie all their quests together, create this new villain, this whole new plot line based off what they saw in the introductory quest. So that I had just randomly made up and threw at them. So that first campaign went 18 months, and we had some very good moments because the whole story was driven off of their characters, like their history, their backstory, and it was a magnificent adventure. It was super great. 18 months every Sunday, and didn't miss much. Didn't miss many sessions. And like their characters got super deep in their story, super rich. We only went to level 10, and there were nights and some scenes where tears were shed because things were hitting just so hard. No, not goofy. So then that's what I was getting at. I wanted to run a serious campaign, like hard-hitting story beats, things like that. And that was my first frustration with D&D, was just how silly it turned everything into, just by the nature of the way it's made, the way your spells work. Everything turned into a joke. So I learned to lean into the humorous side, but still bring in some serious moments that gave everybody pause and like, golly, killed off some characters, not player characters, but like NPC characters. Of course, like 12 months into it, I don't know how far, we were pretty far along. Somebody made the comment, it's like, oh, Scrat's not gonna kill us, he put too much work into our backstories and quest lines. And I was like, no, when your quest line's over, you're expendable. And they were like, oh. Scrat is the writer, he loves to make it right. That's true. Those were some good moments. But anyway, so I did the 18-month campaign. That's how long it lasted. As soon as we were done, that same crew was like, we want another one. So I was like, ugh, okay. So I tried to homebrew it a little more. Somebody made a custom class, or a custom species. It was mushrooms. So everybody played as these mushroom characters, and it was super cool. But that one was more like, it could have been, I made up the whole thing, but it could have been a module that you just picked up and anybody could have played it. It wasn't. The story was not super connected to their characters. So that one played very differently, but it went for another 18 months, every Sunday. Yeah, she made the mushroom fungally characters, so. Yeah, she's the fun guy. So anyway, I ran 2 18-month campaigns in 5e. I guess you could say more on the serious side. Haven't done a well, no, that's not true. I haven't run a campaign since then. I was in one for like 6 months, a Pathfinder one. I was filling in for somebody, but don't really count it. We have, me and the great mustache have been looking into running some mini campaigns on the channel, like 3 to 6 sessions, however long it takes. Nothing massive, nothing huge. So all of that was to say, when I started, I had the desire and interest to run very serious sessions and campaigns because that appealed to me more. But D&D kind of turns everything into a joke, and then I started learning. It's like, okay, TTRPG sessions are just usually a silly fun time, and that's okay. So I just kind of roll with whatever happens. I don't try to force seriousness, or people want to be serious, I will absolutely roll with it. But if somebody wants to just kick doors down and scream and be silly, that's fine too. But even then, I don't actually run that many games. Usually, I got spoiled. YouTube spoiled me because people want to show off their stuff, and I'm like, all right, well, you got to run it. So, show me how it's done. Yeah, as long as the players are on the same page. That's the thing. I have not found a table where everybody wanted to be serious. So, and at this point, I probably wouldn't be able to be serious. I would be the barbarian kicking down the doors. Ah. So, and you like that first campaign, you can still have some very serious moments, but it's ultimately very, very silly. And that's okay. As long as everybody's having fun. She believes me. So good. My videos are deep and emotional. Oh my. Are they now? I thought they were silly. With my poorly photoshopped squirrel. Kills a PC's child. Look, it was a robot. It wasn't your actual child. It did have the soul of a child stuck in him, but, you know, not the point. Existential crises. And the difference between what you like GMing and you like playing is a night and day. Yeah, I can be. Well, you know, somebody, Carrie commented on my last post. Carrie nailed it in that last post where I was like, hey, what am I going to play as? And all 4 choices were a barbarian. She's like, playing a barbarian is very cathartic. So, you know, just to let out all the rage and just smash things. So the robot child. So they found, now, granted, I started this campaign. I didn't know anything about D&D. I didn't know anything about the lore. Some of it I nailed and got exactly right. Some not so much. So I had them very early on. In the introductory quest, no less. This was something I threw at them that became very important. They found a little warforged. I'm not going to say a warforged child because it was just a small warforged body. But he had this crystal in him, and the crystal had a soul in it. And that was the soul of a child. But the soul wasn't controlling, right? The soul wasn't controlling the Warforged. The Warforged was just kind of holding that soul. Because the process did not go right. And that ended up being the whole point of this campaign, was somebody was using soul magic. Test one survive a table of kids, they can be so messed up. Sort of co-op. Yeah, they were both kind of... Now, I remember the child soul could see and feel everything that robot was going through, the Warforged, but that particular Warforged was one of the super early ones they made, and they didn't even have the ability to speak yet. That was something I made up. So when they found this Warforged and got it reactivated, because it was just sitting there, disabled, it couldn't talk to them, so that was a problem for a while. And then they ended up finding another Warforged that was a very important character and gave them all their missions and everything, and he gave them the lore dump like, no, he's like, I'm one of the first Warforged that could talk. But he knew the way I had it was the Warforged that didn't even have the ability to speak, they all kind of came up with their own sign language. Yeah, they came up with their own sign language, and this other character knew that, so he recognized the model, and so he started doing the sign language and was able to communicate with it, and that's when they found out all the soul stuff. But the reason he was small was not because I wanted a child Warforged, it was because he was a little scout. That's what he was made for. And the whole reason that I threw this robot at them originally was I just wanted to give them the Mysterious Stranger from Fallout, the video games. Now, if you're not familiar with the Mysterious Stranger, it is a perk you can get in the Fallout games. And when you go into your vats and do the shooting thing, he has a random chance to show up, the Mysterious Stranger, when you're using your vats ability, and he'll just like annihilate whoever you're trying to shoot. So I threw that in there because I wanted to make nat 20s more interesting. It's like, oh yeah, this random soul robot thing is going to show up and make your nat 20s more interesting. That was the whole point. Then it became a whole plot beaten part of the story, and Glee's character basically adopted the child and then had to kill the child because that's the kind of GM I am. It's inspired and it spirals out. Yep. And then his pig face, and then they found out they taste like pork. Oh no! They hunted down the orcs. Dang. Pork orcs. Pork orcs. So yeah. Had to kill the robot child. What else was a traumatic moment? Oh, yeah. One character found out they had it was very tropey, the evil twin sister. They had to kill the twin sister. They had to one-on-one do a duel with them to the death. One I could have got really dark with, but decided not to. That would have been way too much and inappropriate, but you got some crab cake? And one guy made a character and played like 1 or 2 sessions and was like, I don't think this campaign's gonna be for me, and then backed out and then came back like a week later with a new character. So I took his old character and put him in the story, and he ended up dying. It's not worrisome. You just like good heart-wrenching moments. You like the what's the word I'm looking for? Not shock value. Just like the tears. So any type of drowning? Yeah. So the character he made, he was terrified of water because he was a tabaxi. Ha 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 lol. He ended up drowning. But he saved the party. Like, he sacrificed himself. I think one of the sadder moments, though, was Zark cried when his character died. Yeah, the tabaxi. But that was a pretty sad moment. But I think one of the sadder moments was at one point the party found some prisoners under this monastery, and they were like kind of not right. They were all like snarling and weird, and then they had gotten the impression they could take them to this certain priest type of person. They might be able to help them or whatever, and then they brought those people to that person, and he was like, they're too far gone, their souls are shattered, all we can do now is put them down. So they had to take them to this lake and like do a, not like just, murder them, like they took them to this lake and basically just finished passing on what was left of their soul. So it was like almost like a backwards baptism almost. It was okay, yeah, that's the one. That was definitely the saddest moment was. But y'all were a little distraught about not being able to save those prisoners, though. The other ghost child, yeah. So we had this character. Very, very joke character. She was a bard and always had to speak in song because she was cursed. Name. Just wait till you read the next book. But anyway, even more so our characters were sad about the prisoners. You kind of desensitized us. But that was before the ghost child I'm about to tell you about. I remember Nat being pretty distraught. A little tear came down his eye. But anyway, so This bard lady had been cursed, always speaking in song and blah 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 blah. And then they found out who cursed her, and it was somebody she had accidentally, unknowingly outperformed, and that person got super jealous, went down a dark path, got the soul magic, cursed her, blah blah blah. So they find that out. So they go to this lady, and they end up killing that lady. And they realize a problem is still unsolved. And I forgot how that came to be, but anyway, they find out like there's this little cavern behind the way, and they're going through this. It's frozen in there too. It's like, why is it frozen in here? This is super weird, because that was to lead into another quest. But anyway, so they find like these little floaty will-o'-the-wisp kind of icy things in there, and they fight one or two of them, and they're like, dang, those guys were really strong. But as they're going through this cave, they're hearing the voice of this little girl. And I think the girl was saying, like, Dad, I don't understand. I just want to sing. Why are you beating me? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, another quest that you guys... Well, you didn't skip it. You ruined it. But, anyway, so they go out into this big open room, and there's like 5 or 6 or 7 of those will-o'-the-wisp things floating around, which they're like, that's gonna murder us. But in the center of them was a little ghost girl, and she was like playing with them. And they're like, oh. And then they find out that was the child of the woman. That was the younger version of the woman that they had just fought and killed. And then they find out, like, this girl, her mother was a big singer and had left the family to go pursue fame and fortune, and the dad didn't take it too well, so she had a very bad upbringing and was never allowed to sing. So she's like, I just want to sing. So instead of fighting her like a boss fight, they sang her to death, essentially. So she's like, I just want to sing. So everybody pulled out their instruments, and the bards in the party started singing, and then the little girl started singing, and, you know, they were all doing their performance roles, and the better they did, the more she started fading away and getting quieter and quieter and quieter until she was eventually gone. And yeah, I think Glee might have cried a little bit that night. I think Zark held it together that time. That was a good moment. It was a bittersweet moment. Cool way to resolve. I thought so. You were upset several times with it. You were very much so. Oh man. But see, so that guy that left for a week and then came back with a new character when his old character became part of the story, excuse me, and died, he came back as what we called a Narwi, and for the token I just used the slime from Slime Rancher. But it was the idea was like they were like this big, set on your shoulder. It was this little jelly blob ghosty thing that could like take different shapes and do weird things. It was more narrative role play than anything, but it had some features it could do. A little Narwi, so he got to keep his other character's spirit. D&D doesn't offer for great tools. No, it doesn't. That's big. That was my big frustration too, was like any creative thing you threw at the party, they just had a spell to undo it. Like, they could have just walked in there guns and blazes and still killed everything, but... Do not kill my family, future rule. Torment should traumatize me anymore. Yes! Just wait till you learn how a dog can make the whole party cry. Nobody wants to see the dog die. But, what else did we do? Because we had one player. Neonats was super fun. His whole family that got corrupted. But there was one player, he was kind of a joke character, but like he didn't ruin anything. He wasn't that type of joke character, but like he had a dex-based paladin that was a tiefling, and his whole thing was just, I am the best paladin. I'm not a good paladin. I am the best paladin. So it's just kind of silly in that regard. And his name was Person. He didn't have a lot for me to work with. Book writer. There you go. Looky there. There's my book. Go buy it. That's what I do. So, and I should be working on the next one, but I'm here yakking. So I didn't have a lot to go off for him. He just wanted to be the best paladin. So I was like, okay, well, paladins have a strict code and everything. So he got this book that was writing itself, and that ended up telling them where to go. Yeah, there is a link in the description. That ended up telling him where to go, what to do, and that sent him on his quest. And then he found out the book was the soul of a wizard that got stuck in it. And long story short, you know, they went on this epic adventure, very silly, very over the top, because it matched the player more than the character. It's like, oh yeah, you're gonna pull Excalibur out of the stone, go slay a dragon, all this other stuff. And then they did all that, and the book was like, yeah, that was super fun, man. I appreciate it, but you gotta kill me. You gotta put me down, because I'm the last part of this key that you guys have been putting together. So, and that's when the player was like, oh dang it, what do I do? It's like, I'm the best paladin. I can't just kill this guy. He's not evil, or blah, 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 blah. So that was his challenge. Everybody had a personal challenge they had to go through, I think. Very fun. Very fun. Good time. And it's not like people gave me, you know, multi-page backstories. They were a couple paragraphs, you know, nothing drastic. You're a great writer. Well, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. I am a fantastic writer. There's actually, I have a stream, not too long ago, where I got some people together to talk about this, what they did and didn't like. Knife theory, yes, but I couldn't tell you what it is. I've already forgotten. What is the knife theory? I don't know. So, she says. Give your GM a couple of knives. I don't think anybody's gonna give me a couple of knives. Is that the knife theory? Oh, didn't oh, what's his name? Dottie. Mystic Arts GM, I think, is his channel. Didn't he do a video about that recently? I feel like I remember he was asking, because there's another server we're in. He was, yeah, okay, so he did do that. Yeah, I've seen he was showing off a couple of his thumbnails, trying to decide which one to use. That's the only reason I know about it. You love his channel? Yeah, I haven't watched much of it. That's the thing, like, this is where I feel really guilty, because, like, I'm making tabletop content. I have no desire to consume tabletop content, but I get to knowing these people, and it's like, yeah, I need to watch your videos and support you. I don't even watch YouTube, barely. Yeah, the Dungeon Jam. I feel guilty because I don't watch all their stuff. I'm in their corner rooting for them, but... Nah, she says. Nah. I know I'm not obligated, but you know, I could be the better person, right? Compensate for my daughter. You're consuming all of it. I need to get, do you watch Misty Steps at all? I need to get her on for some games. She's a lot of fun. Maybe. I was in one of her videos recently, very briefly. The Hodag. The Hodag. Well, the squirrel was in there, not me. But, you know. Cotton picking blue blazes is a Hodag. A 5-room forest, yeah. That's the one. It sounded pretty cool. I did watch that one. Oh, you got a campaign coming up. Uh-oh. Is it Daggerheart? Should this be a scene or... How about... one scene? That's a lot better than just getting to make a room glow. When you're making the sci-fi expansion, for Mouse Ritter, I'm not doing that, am I? Lab rats from outer space. It's the dinosaur man. What's going on? I am going on many a tangent today, talking about life stories. With my ttrpg and community building experience. That one was fine. Yeah, that's super close to... Moscow feature stack. Well, so the idea was you just make a little clone that has your abilities. So like if you were the Hollow Tongue Hunter, there we go. I got it. Because he has that jump ability. That little moss dude you make would have the jump ability. But I don't think that was gonna work, because it's just not gonna work. Because like all the healer classes have a kit they use. It's not really an ability, so I think that one's gonna have to go. Or just make some kind of moss thing. A moss. Actually, I got a better idea. And let me write it down before I forget. Just make this the summon elemental ability from Core Easy D6. So, in Core Easy D6, you have one that lets you summon an elemental of your choice. Or no, there's different ones for different elementals. But anyway, it's just like you summon a specific type of creature. So I'm going to make it to where you just summon a moss creature that has some of its own stats. Maybe the moss clone can be from other creatures. Like, wow. That would be kind of neat. And I might make this what I was going to do with the Corrupted Whisperstone. Gain control over several nearby stones to create a stone golem. Stone golem. One action that will help. A brief moment. So, like, if you want the stone golem to hold something up and you get through there. So. Moss bird. That would be neat. You need a break from your thesis? Man, I needed a break from everything. I've been running myself ragged this land last week. I woke up this morning and I was just like, I don't wanna. I wake up thinking about nuts and vampires and deadlines. Oh, gain control. Nearby stones. I like that. So, something similar to this year. Well, last year too, right? And the year before that. Running into the woods. Okay, so here's a fun tangent for you. Actually, before I do that. So, what I might do for the moss one, take part of your idea, make it a little bit more like this golem thing. You create a creature made of moss, but it only lasts for like a scene. So like if you were the reptile rider and something happened to it, it's like you create those type of creatures, the wild animals of the world, essentially. So like you could make a fish and just quickly ride it somewhere, moss bird like you're saying, but it's very short-lived before it just collapses. I think I'm gonna do that. Now, the fun tangent, running into the woods. So when I was in trade school, I might have told you all this story now that I think about it. I have to try so hard not to name this guy. I was in machine tool class, and for those of you who don't know, that's like CNC machines. And in the class I was in, I had a very good teacher. He was like second or third generation Italian tool and die maker, which if you don't know, it's very intense. So he knew his stuff. What he had us, we had to do all theory first, then we had to do manual machines, then we got to do CNC machines, and then we got to do the CAD work, like all the computerized stuff. Yeah, that is really how they sound too when they're cutting, right? Just but anyway, so there was a performance test in the curriculum for the manual machines, and if you couldn't do this at the end of the trimester, you were not allowed to move on. So there was like the curriculum originally said you have to do this, and this in like 45 minutes. Like that was the test. Now our teacher, Mr. G, he was like, if you can't do all that in 15 minutes, you're fired. Like, sure. He's like, I understand this curriculum, this thing says 45 minutes, but if you can't do it in 15, you fail. I was like, dang, all right. And he was right. Like, it was 45 minutes was very generous. But in the, he was preparing you for the working world. Like, you're not going to get 45 minutes for this. And part of it was, if you don't know what a mill is, a mill has a table like this and this big head that comes in and has a tool that, and that's how you cut stuff. Now this head can tilt like this. And if you don't have that at perfectly 0, or I guess 90, however you want to say that, you're going to run into a lot of problems. Everything's going to be off. So part of this 15 minutes performance test we had to do was zero this thing out properly. And what he would do is he would get a big, what do you call those hammers that are full of sand? And he'd loosen the bolts on that head and just boom, and hit it and it'd go out like that. And he's like, fix it. Dang. All right. So anyway, that's the pressure we were under. And this is all while we had to machine a part at the same time. So this guy we had in our class was not right in the head. And I mean it with all the niceness I can muster up. He had no business being in this class. He was not right in the head. I don't know what degree, but he did not need to be around heavy machinery that could shred you into a pile of spaghetti noodles. Like, he really didn't need to be there. But he was, because the state was like, you got to take him. And the school was like, we want the money. So anyway, this guy, this kid, we were all adults, right? 18 and up. Because of whatever he had going on, and plus living a sheltered life and interests, he legitimately thought he was an anime character of a werewolf variety. This will come into play later. So, Mr. G gave him the full 45 minutes for this test, because it's the thing, like, he was smart. This kid was smart. Like, he could do math and stuff. He knew how to set up these machines. He was just really slow. Like, he would quintuple check everything. And not for like me, because I'm just scared to death of everything. I want to triple, quadruple, quintuple check everything because I'm afraid it's going to blow up. That's just how he was. So Mr. G gave him the full 45 minutes. And he was down to the last 5 minutes or whatever. And there was no possible way he could make it, but the teacher was like, I'm going to do everything by the book so I can get rid of him. He didn't want to do the 15 minutes that the rest of us got. He didn't want to give him any extra. He's going to let him run the whole 45 minutes until he gets to 0 and then call it quits and then kick him out of the class. So anyway, he's down to like the last 5 minutes. There's no possible way he can finish. And he's at the mill, he's got his material, he's straightened it up. I don't even think he's made the first cut on this block of metal yet. So Mr. G's just standing behind him. He's like, you got 5 minutes. He's dialing stuff in real fast and still hasn't cut. And then Mr. G's like, you got 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. And he gets down to like the last 10 seconds. And Mr. G's just counting. He's like 10, 9, 8, just putting this kid through hell. And he gets down to like the last 5 seconds. And now I'm at the other end of the shop. I have my back turned to this whole thing. I'm at a lathe, and the lathe is the machine that's sideways, and the material rotates, and you bring your tool down. So I'm sitting there, making my pile of scrap, because I'm terrible at machining, it turns out. This is like my 300th part I'm trying to make. And I hear the commotion. I'm like, nope. I'm just gonna dial this thing in. I'm not paying attention to this. starts counting down those last 5 seconds, and this kid was Korean, right? English was perfectly fine, but he shouts something in Korean, and like looking back, I'm like, okay, he was having an anime moment. He thought he could just shout something and dial in the mill as fast as he could and have that epic, last second anime moment, and it just magically happens through the power of friendship and everything else. So he shouts something in Korean, dials it in way too fast, and the cut is way too deep. So you just hear this, it just doesn't tear the machine up, but it ruins the bit, it snaps, the metal's just all tore up, almost flung it right out of the vise. And I'm just at the lathe, and I had a couple other kids in front of my lathe, they were watching, and they're like, man, you gotta watch this. I'm like, nope, I'm not. So he does that, and then Mr. G's like, you failed, you're out. So, and this is where, it smelled like burnt metal for the most part, twice dead. But, so the werewolf, piece of lore I dropped you, he claws out, right? And he's yelling like this. Runs out of the shop. Now, I'm in the south, right? Just trees everywhere. So this school has a big bit of woods behind it. So he runs out of the school, right out of the shop, right out the back door, into the parking lot, down into the woods, just screaming the whole way. Just, because he's gonna turn into a werewolf and just let all the rage out. I'm just at the lathe chilling. Mr. G was like, I'm gonna go tell the counselor or head guy, whatever he's called, you guys check his bag and make sure there's not a bomb in it. So I got bomb duty, and then a couple other people went out and watched, we're like trying to see what he's doing out in the woods, and he's just in the woods screaming, just There was no bomb in the bag, in case you were wondering. Just books and some kind of game device, like a DS or something. Oh, you can't stand the smell of burnt metal. Dang. Well, I was surrounded by it for years, so it's like one of those things. It's like, yep, smells like home. The home I don't want to be in, but it's a very familiar smell. So. That coolant the CNCs use is what stinks. Ugh. But yeah, he thought he was going to go out there and turn into a werewolf, and he just screaming. And when he came back to class, obviously he was not a werewolf. He was the same old guy. But boy, is he mad. And we didn't see him no more after that. He got removed from class, which is what teacher wanted. And like I said, for good reason. And that was a perfect demonstration of why he did not need to be around heavy machinery. So I got bomb duty. So, what a time, man. What a time. That kid was, and he wasn't like, he was a little abrasive, but he was an alright kid. Just got dealt a bad deal. I say that, but I don't know why he picked machine tool class, because his parents were pretty well off. It wasn't like, oh, this is all I had available to me or something like that. It's like, nah, you could have just been chilling at home, or you could have gone off to college or something. The animated Squirrel PG. This girl made 4 bomb calls to get out of some tests, so someone had to guard the bomb. That's how they do, man. So, I actually saw him at the grocery store several years later. I saw him one time, and he looked pretty much the same. He was with his mom. I was like, okay, he obviously didn't go off and do anything with the machine tool. But then I saw him many years later, and this kid was he's built like I am, just a scrawny little thing, right? But he was a good half foot or so shorter. And I saw him not too long ago at the grocery store, and that dude done swolled up. looked like he kicked my ass, honestly. I don't know what he got into. But he always has a super serious look on him, too. Third time this semester. But you never know, it might be. It might be twice dead. So. And I remember one time, I was just sitting out, it was lunch break, I was just sitting outside on the bench. Or no, I came back from somewhere. And he was out there, and I sat down. Just to be friendly, you know. Like, what's going on, man? How you doing? He was a little shocked and appalled by that. But he was like, oh, you know, I'm fine. What's going on? So I got talking to him. I was like, why machine tool? Why? It's like, I know I'm here. This is the only thing that's available to me. But, like, why are you here? You know, what's your goal in life? What are you doing? And kid you not, I was like, yeah, you know, what are you trying to do in life? So I think what I asked him, what's your goals in life? And he said, well, I want to be the best. And I was like, oh, what? Machining? A mill? A lathe? Something specific? At everything. I was like, oh. So, you know, keeping the conversation alive, I said, well, how's that going? And he said, well, I did 10 push-ups this morning. And I said, all right. A good start, I guess. That's where that guy's head was at. I liked him, though. That was the thing, like, the whole class kind of picked on him, but 99% of the class liked him. Like, everybody liked the kid, you know. Some picked on him a little more than others, but everybody liked him. Because I remember we had this one guy in class, like, just freaking swole as could be. And he would pick on him pretty hard. He would not pick on him hard, but pick on him the most out of everybody. But then a newer kid showed up to class and started picking on him away. I don't want to say like inappropriate because that sounds worse than it is, but it was like a little meaner than it should have been. And that big swole guy came down on that dude like mama bear. Just it's like, no, you don't do that. So, school in the South, man. Can't risk it, not in the 9th region, because they have been terrorist attacks in schools. I believe it. Good times. I say good times, but they really weren't. I don't miss them. And that guy's allowed to drive. That's the other thing, too, because I heard some stories about, you know, the kids all went out with him somewhere and they let him drive, and he was like doing 60 over a railroad track, getting all 4 wheels off the ground. Oh, man. Interesting individual. But it is, we've been at this for almost 3 hours. I think I'm gonna go. I think every school has an off limits guy. He would have been bullied. Yep. It's interesting how that works, you know, the way people just kind of adopt someone like that. It was nice chatting, Tiz. I'm glad you came around, shared your thoughts and wisdoms and interests. Feel free, if you're a Discord user, to hop into the Squirrely server. It's a very chill place. And if you're liking Mouse Ritter, the frog guy that was in here, Bogman, he is working on a game where you play as frogs, but it's based off Mouse Ritter. Actually, we just streamed it a couple days ago, if you want to go check it out. Oh, you're in there? You're already in there? Well, dang it. You must not be saying anything. You're just lurking. That's fine. Totally fine. Ignacio was my school off limits kid. Hey, Ignacio's the name of the guy that draws my squirrel. Damn, he was dumb and violent, but his sister was 6'9" and a boxer. Oh, yeah, that's a little off limits. So, but anyway, yeah, try out Wardens of the Wetlands. Go check out the stream. There's a lot of us there. Oh, there she is. Here indeed. Look at you. All right, cool beans. All right, well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go scream. Maybe I'll run off into the woods and scream a little bit too, and then get back to writing the next book and continue to let it beat my behind. So, and then work on that and work on Moss and Stone. So, probably won't be any playtesting this weekend. So I guess Tuesday and Thursday next week. See you at the normal times. Oh, let me find the stop buttons. All right, there they are. I will see y'all later. Goodbye.